Hello everyone and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, where we watch every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I'm Sean.
And I'm Tennille.
And today we are talking about Attack Number 1, Revolution, or
Revolving Revolution?
Yeah, it has a couple of different names, but it is the same movie.
Yeah, alright.
It is
the sequel to Attack Number 1. We're still in the year 1970, where the first movie came out. Oh, dear God, that's not a good sign.
And we still have a third one coming out this same year. So I can only assume this is the next, 3 to 5 chapters of the manga.
It must be, because this is not formatted in a way that, we're here to tell a cohesive story.
From start to finish.
No,
it's just kind of we got this story we're telling, and then once that's done, we're going to move on to this story, and then once that's done, we're moving on. It's very episodic, is what we're saying.
Right. It definitely kind of feels like 3 mini-stories put into one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an overarching plot in the first 2 stories, but then the third plot is, completely disconnected from everything else that's gone on so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
there isn't going to be a whole lot to talk about art direction-wise and animation-wise and all that, because it's the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, it's gotten a little better. The shot composition is a little bit better. But I feel like we're also seeing a lot more reuse of the same kind of, poses and animations just get used over and over again. They're just taking the stuff that works and reusing it a lot.
Yeah.
Also,
I want to say thank you to Yuko Kagami.
Right! Yes! We forgot to do this last time.
Yes, they managed to find all 4 of these movies for us. So thank you, Yuko Kagami. We forgot to thank you in the last Attack episode, but we're thanking you now. And we'll thank you again in future episodes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because we weren't able to find any of these before.
No. They just, didn't exist to our knowledge.
Thanks for saving our butts on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, plot of this one.
Real brief plot. Okay, so our small, crappy school is part of a merger with another small, crappy school.
Yep.
Okay, you don't hear about this plot line very often.
No, and
the school merger?
Yeah, it's funny because when I saw that was the plot, I'm like, oh, this could go some interesting directions. And then as it continued, I'm like, wow, they took the least interesting direction, and now I feel like I've found 5 different other ways this could have, should have gone to be more interesting.
Okay. Either way, there's obviously another volleyball team over there, and the other school had the Fearsome Four, the Final Four, the Fabulous Four.
Something like that.
The 4.
Yeah.
The something 4, and these were super good, and I'm like, but don't you need 6 on a volleyball team at the same time? Either way, we got these 4 volleyball players, and they come in and they're super hostile.
I mean, there's other volleyball players with them.
No?
Yeah, there is,
no.
but these 4 are, the big bads.
Yes. And they're super antagonistic, and they beat the crap out of our main characters. And I mean beat the crap as in beat them in volleyball.
Beat them in volleyball and are just general being nasty and calling each other names, saying they aren't worth anything. Your usual sports showboating shenanigans.
And their coach decides to say, no, I'm gonna back off and I'll let your guys' coach take it.
Right.
Who is, our horrible abusive coach.
He's not bad in this movie. He doesn't do anything.
He literally does nothing.
Yeah, he literally does nothing. He's just I believe in the girls to figure this out.
They can do it.
They can do it, and that's it.
All right. So the main character and her antagonist from the original movie, the orange hair?
Yeah.
Orange-haired girl?
The red-haired girl.
Red-haired, yeah. Anyways, they're like, well, we got our asses handed to us, so over summer break, we're gonna go to a college women's volleyball training camp.
Yep.
Even though we're in middle school.
Yeah.
and they train super hard and learn a new volleyball technique.
Well, okay, so the new volleyball technique that they learn
is the technique that the other school was using on them.
Yeah, and that's why they got their asses handed to them, is because this other volleyball team knows this technique, and
it just makes the ball drop immediately.
Yeah, they just don't know how to deal with it. So at the
it.
college training program, they learn what this technique is, and somehow our main character figures this out by watching the volleyball float down a river.
Oh, it didn't spin, so it dropped. And I'm like,
well,
what?
the volleyball is apparently like the shot that they're doing is somehow both a curveball and completely not curving.
Yeah. Okay.
Is how they describe it.
Well, it's a curve shot because it just stops going forward when they think it should and just sinks to the ground immediately. Which, according to their explanation, is because the ball isn't spinning, so it has more... I guess it would have more air friction, and therefore slows down quite a bit and drops. I'm trying to figure this out as I'm saying it out loud.
I have no idea.
Don't know. There's a but anyway, school gets back in order. There's a rematch. They're winning. The main characters are winning, and then suddenly in the middle
of this technique. Wait. This technique is all about the person who serves the ball. So really, the match is determined by who gets the volleyball first.
I mean, yeah.
Like, that's how this is all set up. Like, what team is serving the ball first? All right, cool. That team wins. Because nobody knows how to hit back this ball. Even the girls who, like, used this technique.
Have perfected this technique.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Anyways, in the middle of this match, the lead girl of the Fantastic Four, who I gotta say, you know she's evil because she's got hair covering one eye.
She's got emo bangs. I don't know what that does for her depth perception, but apparently it's working out fine for her.
Yeah. Unfortunately, her wrist isn't working out fine for her.
No, it's
because her
not.
wrist is on fire and she storms out in the middle of the game. And then they all quit. Except the main character mocks and crap talks belittles the other three, and they join up on the team because it's like, you wouldn't dare harm a volleyball because you love volleyball.
Oh my god, this scene. Our main character hands him a volleyball and she's like, you can only quit if you stab a knife through this volleyball and show that you don't care about the sport. And I just turned to Sean and I'm like, kill your god! And of course, like, they can't do it. They all cry.
Because,
they can't
bonding
kill a
over
volleyball.
crying. So now we have a team of the main two characters, these three girls, and then just like one random girl from the original team. And I mean, they technically cycle out and stuff, but like these other three girls of the Fantastic Four are better than all the others.
So far now, our entire volleyball team is made up of students that did not
start by going to this school.
Yeah.
Because the main character's a transfer student, her original rival, the redhead girl, is a transfer student. The three girls are from a merger. Either way, they want to get the emo locks girl back on the team. But it turns out that the doctor said she's not allowed to play anymore because her wrist is going to break.
Well,
or
it's
something
fractured. It's got a stress in it, essentially. Like, I don't know the medical term for it, but it's one of those things where it's like, if she keeps using it, she could have more lasting permanent damage.
Yeah.
And it turns out her stepmom has been keeping the information from her that if she actually would continue playing volleyball, she could, like, permanently
ruin her wrist
for the rest of her life.
Hey kids, let's talk about sports injuries.
Yeah.
If you are playing a sport so hard that you're going to injure yourself, don't.
Do permanent lasting damage.
Just don't.
Yeah, just don't. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Sports don't pay that well.
I mean, unless you get extremely lucky.
And then you have, even then, most athletes, once they're done doing their sports thing, they don't have any other viable skills, and therefore they're impoverished more often than not.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Also,
play to have fun.
Play to have fun. Don't sign up for a college team because they're going to exploit the hell out of you and steal all your money. Because that's what they do.
We're just looking out for you guys.
We're just looking out for you. Sports are fun. Do it for fun.
But be careful.
We're very not competitive people. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, so the thrill of the game doesn't appeal to us at all, so we just don't understand this mindset of, like, permanently damaging your body. I mean, granted, you know, I'm going to permanently damage my body from drawing all the time, but, like, that's over years and years of
That's
work.
not something that you could have screwed yourself over from, like,
in high school.
Just in high school.
I mean,
A freak accident, your arm just sprains and, like, oh, God, I have...
carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel.
Times 10.
Times 10 overnight.
Yeah.
And I can never write again. No, that's a time-based thing.
It takes some time, but still, like, even if any repetitive work that you do, make sure you stretch, make sure you take care of yourself, don't overexhaust yourself, you know, be kind to your body.
Yes.
Anyway, so this girl is screwed. She can't join the volleyball team, so it kind of ends on a...
Yeah, I mean, they
sad
tried to,
note
like,
there.
confront her because she tried to sabotage them at a volleyball tournament by telling the next opponents how they play. So the main characters, because it happened overnight, like, literally the next day, they changed up their plan and just wiped the floor with that other team. And that's when they had the whole confrontation with the girl, and they're like, all right, well, then, bye, have fun on the track and field team.
Yeah. They're like, oh, well, she's going to track and field now. She's basically dead to us.
Yep.
Our main character here is...
really aggressive this time around.
Very aggressive, and she seems to be under the impression that, like, tough love is the only way to, like...
And this
motivate people.
This didn't feel like her character from the first movie.
I mean, it sort of did. It was just like a more extreme version of that.
You mean this movie's a more extreme version of it?
Yeah, and she is being so aggressive. Like there's a point where it's like a little bit of aggression would have been like, okay, like I kind of get it. She's a sports team captain. That makes some sense. But like, she is like going from 0 to 100 way too fast.
Anyways, to wrap this movie up, the final...
That's the two-thirds mark.
Yeah, that's the 2/3 or slightly over 2/3, because suddenly we have the final fight, the revolution.
Yeah, so...
Because...
now we've changed gears completely.
Well, no, we haven't. We're still in the same tournament.
Yeah, but the tournament's barely been a thing that they've talked about.
Yeah, but they're in a tournament, and the final person, or team they have to face off against, is this team that their best player has the ability to do tumbles.
Yeah.
On every single shot. She does a revolution every time she bounces the ball up.
She does a somersault, and...
every single time. And I'm like, this seems like a poor decision.
I mean, granted, we are shown these girls falling down on their faces, like...
all the time.
Like,
so
90%
honestly,
of the time that they're playing volleyball, they're falling down on their faces.
So you know what? In that aspect, this girl has a million more skills than any other girl.
Yeah, so you know what? The tumble actually makes some sense.
Tactical roll. Yeah.
Wow.
Hoo-yah. They beat her. They beat her by cheating?
They beat her by cheating! I forgot!
So there's 3 matches, and because it's a sports ball, like every other match, you switch which side of the net you're on.
Yep.
So at one point in the second match, the main character is blinded by a light that came directly behind them shooting the volleyball, and
Because
so during
the sun's shining through
the sun's
windows.
shining through the window up in the sky. So during the third game, she's like, "All right, this is the winning, this is the winning point. So, all right, I need you to serve me the ball right here." And then she does the same, trick, purposely exploiting a blind spot in the opponent, and she's like, "I shall be ruthless and win this match."
Oh yeah, and it's not like painted as being, a little
bad
sketch.
thing. No, it's just no, you won because you definitely cheated.
Uh-huh. All right.
Good job.
Good job, girls.
And then the movie ends.
They all gather around in a circle and cry.
No, they're
so
standing
happy.
in a line this time.
They stand in a line
because they're
and
holding
cry.
the victory flag. All right.
All right. Well,
That's the movie.
We still have 2 more of these.
I mean, if you want a silly, cheesy, early sports anime, sure.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of boring. I wish it was as fun as we make it sound. Because, the moments of absurdity in it, are fun, but then there's just
a lot of,
droughts of just,
montage of volleyball where you don't have any stakes because you're not really told the stakes.
Right. It's just them playing volleyball, but you don't actually get to see the game happen.
Also, I want to reiterate that the coach and the main character's cousin, who is the only male character in this movie franchise, are identical, and it's not okay.
It's so confusing.
It's so confusing. They're technically wearing slightly different clothing, but
And they have slightly different haircuts.
Slightly, but there's all these other random male characters that don't look anything like these two, and these two are identical.
Unless they're standing next to other characters, you're not really sure which one he's supposed to be.
Because they're always just a crowd shot with them sitting there.
Right.
And all right, was that the coach or was that the friend?
Was that
I
her
can't
cousin?
tell.
I don't know. You don't know. Does anyone know? Nope.
All right, well, this review went on longer than expected.
It's funny to poke at this movie.
It's true. Either way, that's going to be it for this episode of Animation Pilgrimage. So join us back here next time as we take a look at The Phantom Toll Booth.
Yeah. See you guys then.
苦しくたって悲しくたって心の中では平気な
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, where we watch... Oh, no.
What happened?
Oh, sorry, my nose felt like it was going to explode. Like a sneeze.
I thought you were having a stroke.
No, I'm good.